Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. If somebody was to come up to you and say, show me the village in Karazhan in the world of Warcraft, then you'd probably take them to where I am now, the destroyed village right outside the front gate to the Karazhan Raid Instance. But what if I was to tell you that there is another village, a secret village hidden inside the Raid Instance itself? I know, quite hard to believe, but I'm going to show you. So you defeat all the bosses past the Shade of Aaron, but you don't quite go up to the chess event. If I just look to the right here, you'll see the ethereals in that room. And then if I just go to the edge, you'll notice those two big constructs down at the bottom there. Those are the two that are guarding the library once you've defeated the curator. But it's exactly where I am in this room that you want to be. Over in the far corner, we can see a chair. We're going to run, because I don't want to walk, and then we're going to jump on top of it, which is actually a little bit more difficult than it looks. After that, turn to face the bookshelf, but just turn slightly so you're facing the wall, and then take a big jump forward, and look, you've landed on one of the books, obviously. What you need to do now is jump up and forward at the same time a few times, and you start to climb the bookshelf until you finally manage to get to the top. Once there, you'll propel yourself over to the ledge that we can see here. You'll need some sort of propellant or slow fall device to do it, either Goblin Glider, Levitate, slow fall, stuff like that. But I'm now just going to make a couple of tweaks. I've put on my soul stone and I've also added my Goblin Glider because next we're going to throw ourselves out of the window. Just jump forward and here we go. Suddenly we have left Karazhan, and if we look over to where it is, look, there it is in the distance. But down below us, we're now getting a look at what seems to be a troll village, which is inside the actual raid instance itself. And over to the right, well, that's probably the nether, isn't it? Because at the top of Karazhan and at the top of the library, that's all that there was. It actually goes through to Prince Malchazar in the nether itself. I can't think of any other explanation whatsoever. So when here, why not try to explore? What exactly is this place? What exactly is this hidden troll village inside of the raid instance? Well, there's been multiple theories as to what it is, because this has been in the game for a long time now. This has actually been in the game since Karazhan started as a raid instance, and that's going way back when to the Burning Crusade. But if you go and look at this village carefully, and then do a little bit of cross-referencing, which I've done with some maps, then you'll have to come to the conclusion, well, I hope so anyway, that this looks like what would have been, or what is attempting to be anyway, Zul'Gurub. This looks like the top half of Zul'Gurub. Certainly not as packed full of stuff that we know in the game, and certainly not how it used to look before they converted it from a raid into a dungeon group. But the actual basic layout is very similar indeed. From all the little areas, even that bridge that you could just see sneaking away on the right hand side, the huts. Yeah, it's all very symptomatic of the top part of Zul'Gurub, which also makes geographical sense as well, because if you were to look at where Deadwing passes, and then if you were to look where Zul'Gurub is, and when I jumped down of the window and used the Goblin Glider and you saw Karazhan in the distance, even though we were in the instance itself, then this is where Zul'Gurub would have been too. But it doesn't stop it from being absolutely fascinating. Really cool indeed. And I've had some discussions with people, and there's been comments about, you know, manipulation of mechanics and all this kind of business, but let's just look at this realistically. If Blizzard really cared and they didn't want you to see these places, then they would make sure that you absolutely couldn't get to them. Even before Cataclysm arrived, there were videos on YouTube about the troll village, which you could only get to if you were doing some very clever wall jumping through Winterspring and then went over to the Darkshore area. Now, of course, that troll village after Cataclysm is open for all. You can actually go up a hillside. There's a nice little connecting tunnel between the two. So these things, they're not trying to in any way poke at Blizzard. They're not in any way trying to belittle Blizzard. What they're doing is they're just fueling everybody's excitement about exploration. They're fueling everybody's intrigue about how the game was put together. It's all positive stuff. People like this. People want to know about this kind of jazz. Because it is absolutely fascinating to see that within a raid instance, there is actually, theoretically, another raid instance, or what would have been another raid instance at the time. It was only through Cataclysm, of course, that it got converted into a dungeon. And I've got to say, I think it is brilliant. So this could be a very cool way for people to get into a raid group of 10, because that's all that Karazhan can hold, and maybe have secret meetings here, or possibly do some business and role-playing and things like that, because of its very close proximity to what would be classed as the Nether region. It's all pretty darn excellent. But let me know what you guys and gals think in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed this little secret. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Those links are in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.